Hello, my name is Christopher DeSosa, and I am from Havelock, North Carolina, which is a small town in the eastern side of the state. Over the past 4 years of my high school career, I've been a part of three major sports: football, wrestling, and lacrosse, as well as being the president of FCA, or Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
What are three essential qualities in a good leader, and how do they fit your character?
When I think of great leadership, I think of determination, I think of communication skills, and I think of really just the drive to make everybody on the same level as you. So when I think of great leaders like Martin Luther King, someone who could speak in front of millions of people and also the determination to bring his group of people and his surrounding family up from their bootstraps when things were really at an all-time low for their community. I also just think about how not only did he want to see people of his race or nationality or anything want to be great, but he wanted to see everybody become equal, everybody on the same level. I think that's a really huge part of leadership nowadays, is wanting everybody to be on the same level as you. Not just being the best, but you want people to be the best they can be as well.
Tell us about the accomplishment of which you're most proud and how you achieved it.
My best accomplishment that I had was being elected football captain of our team this year as my senior year. It was a huge accomplishment for me. This was a team of 64 people, and I was elected by some of my greatest peers to be a captain. This was a great honor for me, as it really showed that I could become the leader that I really wanted to be, and I could be somebody that other people on the team look up to. In sports, there's so much people that are just there to have a good time. That's completely okay. I want people to have fun, but I also want people to maybe learn something from the sport. And I feel like as my time as a team captain this year, I got to do more than I ever could. I started group therapy sessions after practice. I really got to become more than a team. We became a family, and I feel like that's what something a teacher or a leader should be able to do, is just make it more than just a small group. Make it a huge group. Make it a family. And I feel like that really opened my eyes on what I could really do with my leadership.
What can and should a teacher do to foster understanding of people who are different from their background and mindset?
One of the biggest things with teaching is, to me, teaching transcends everything. Race, religion. It doesn't matter to me. Teaching is something that anybody should be able to have. To me, something that I don't see enough teachers do is really getting to the student on a personal level and trying to really understand their community or their customs or their traditions, and implementing it into something that they can teach the other students, make it a learning experience. Teachers nowadays, we need more open-minded teachers. We need people that really want to learn about their students, to learn about their cultures. Not, just because I don't agree with something doesn't mean we can't make it into a learning experience for other students. Just because I don't agree with something they might believe in, that's okay. I feel like that's what really creates conversation. I think that's really what education and overall teachers need, is just conversation. It makes it such a better learning environment for everybody else.
Tell us about a time when you experienced conflict with an authority figure. How did you resolve the conflict?
Although I've been wrestling since I was about 5 years old, and that coach was Coach Chase Holloman. He was our wrestling coach at Havelock High School, and over the past 4 years, we've bumped heads a couple times. When you know someone that long, it kind of just happens. But he wanted me to drop 2 weight classes, and I didn't believe I could. But the way I really handled the situation was, instead of really getting down on my feelings and not coming back or yelling at him, we sat down, we had a civil conversation, and we came to a compromise. Compromise by conversation. I feel like that is such an important skill to have nowadays, and I just don't think it's practiced enough. And that is just something that will not just help in your high school career, but in your whole life. You're gonna have people you don't agree with, and that's okay. But you need to be able to talk to them man to man and just come to some sort of compromise. It might not have to be the best answer you guys could come to, but it's just something you can agree and find some middle ground in. That's perfectly acceptable.
Think of your favorite teacher you have had during your time as a student. What characteristics did they display that made them your favorite, and how will you try to emulate them in your classroom?
The teacher that really changed my entire life, I would say, is Mr. Wootman at Havelock High School. He really touched me as a person, not just as one of his other students, but he really lit a fire under me when it came to education. About a year ago, I didn't even know what I really wanted to do in my life. I was lost. I was in the Marine Corps recruitment office, thinking that would be the only way out of anything I could do. But, he really sat me down, and we've talked about what I'm good at, my strengths and weaknesses, and we came together, and I thought, teaching, that's really what calls me. And Wooten was the one person that I know that was able to help me realize that about myself, is that education is my calling. Just being around these students and these other players that I've gotten to been around, it really shows me that I have a knack for this kind of thing. And I love seeing the little victories that these people have, and that's something that Wooten really helped me realize is just because you don't win the first time doesn't mean you can't win another time. And in my classroom, that's how he's inspired me. That's how I want to run mine. I want to run it with these students that are always hungry to learn, because you're always, with these positive affirmations, you're telling them they can get better and better and better.
What excites you most about becoming a teacher, and what makes you a fantastic candidate for the program?
The biggest thing that really excites me about being a teacher is getting to see, as I mentioned previously, these little battles and these little victories in these students. Nowadays, students are so love-starved, if anything, and just because they don't get something right on the first time doesn't mean it's not a win. You have to be able to teach these students that even the small things in life can become huge victories later on. These small life skills like communication, leadership, determination, that's all key life skills that they can learn in the classroom. And that's something that really inspired me to become the person I am today, and I think that leadership that I've been taught really makes me a perfect candidate for fellowship and teachers.